Okay, so we have like 55 questions, and all these 55 questions are related to the Azure Artificial Intelligence 900, that is, which is a very basic fundamental exam. So let's see all the question and try to attempt. So your company currently has customer service agents who has used to provide telephone and email support to customers. The company now wants to develop and use web chat bots to provide automated answer common customer queries. So they told that earlier, like all the questions asked by the customer answer by the some service agents. Now they have developed some bot. So what could be the benefit for developing this bot? Whether it would result in increased sales? No, sales will not increase, because bot is just to decrease the workload of the customer, right? So it would result in the reduced workload for the customer service agent, because now like few common answer will be answered by the bot itself, right? It would result in the improved the product reliability. No, product reliability will not increase because of the bot. Sales will also not increase. So the answer could be it will reduce the workload. Is forecasting house prices based on historical data an example of anomaly detection? So they told that we have to forecast the housing prices. Like let's suppose we have the historical data, and we want to all this question related to the machine learning basically. So we have to predict the housing prices. So housing prices are generally a category of uh, regression machine learning algorithm. So in which we predict some numbers, like whether the house range is 50,000 USD, 60,000 USD, right? So it is not a type of the anomaly detection. So it is a false, because anomaly detection is let's suppose anomaly detection is basically when you have some data, and suddenly you see some outliers or some spikes. Then we call that particular point is the anomaly. Let's suppose you are doing some transactions, and all the transactions are successful, and suddenly the one transaction is a fraud or unsuccessful. Then that consider it as an anomaly detection. So it is a type of the regression algorithm. So it is not a type of the anomaly detection. It is false. Is identifying suspicious sign in by looking for derivatives from usual pattern an example of anomaly detection? Yeah, definitely true. Let's suppose we generally log in via our Android phone to our Google account, and suddenly on one day we start logging using iPhone. Then that is some anomaly, right? So the system will identify, okay, this is not the something that user generally login. The user generally login using the Android phone, it not login in using the iPhone. So that is a deviation from the a regular pattern. So identify suspicion sign in, it could be the anomaly detection. So then it will ask for whether you are the user, or it is some another fraud user. So it is a type of anomaly detection. So answer is true. Is predicting whether a patient will develop diabetes based on the patient medical history example of anomaly detection. So we need to tell whether the patient has diabetes or not. So it is a type of the classification problem. It is not an anomaly detection. The handling of unusual or missing value provided to an AI system. So generally in our data we have missing values and some unusual values, right? So we generally either we remove those missing value, or either we substitute those missing values some with some values like mean, median, mode, or some other manual values, right? So what we called this, there are generally six all these four options are related to the responsible AI principles. So basically there are six responsible AI principles which are very important for the exam. Generally one or two question maybe you could see in the exam. So better to go to the official documentation, like what are the 6 responsible AI principle. Responsible AI principle like means that like whenever you create some kind of robot, so it doesn't mean that like you will give all the authority to the robot. The end authority, the final authority should be in the human hand. So these kind of sub principle which we need to follow, right? So I gave just one example. So there are so many principles. So one is the inclusiveness. Inclusiveness means like if you develop the AI, like make sure that you include all the peoples. It doesn't mean that you will like develop the AI just only for the one set of the gender, but like let's suppose you develop the AI system just for the males, not for the females or any other peoples. You have to include everything. So that is the inclusiveness. The privacy and security. So if you develop the AI model, so you need to make sure that the AI model is designed in such a way that it should not expose the customer data, right? So we need to make sure that privacy and the security, reliability and the safety. Reliability means the system should be reliable, and when the system should be reliable, like it will handle unconditional scenarios as well. Unconditional scenario means like if it found some missing data, then it can also handle those things as well. So then we call it as a reliable. So some unconditional condition happen in the AI model, so it can also handle that. So handling of unusual or missing value comes under the reliability. Transparency means like whenever you build the AI system, so one should know like let's suppose we have tested 10 models, so one should know like why this model is performing better. So it should be transparent. It doesn't mean like okay, this model is performing better, but why this model is performing better we don't know. We don't know how it is working, so it should be transparent. So and there are two more like principles. So basically there are 6 responsible AI principle, but the handling of unusual or missing value come under the reliability. Reliability means the system should be reliable. So if there is any like unconditional data came or missing value came, so it can easily handle that as well. So that comes under reliability. An automated chat to answer question about refund and exchange. So they told that like generally nowadays we have the chat system which will like answer some common questions, right? So it comes under which scenarios? Whether it's a anomaly detection, no. Whether it is a computer vision, no. Conversational AI, yes, it is a conversational artificial intelligence bot. So we are doing some conversation, right? So a chat system is kind of a conversation. It comes under the conversation. It is not a natural language processor. It is a conversation AI. Determining whether a photo contains a person. So if we have to determine whether a photo contains a person, it is not an anomaly, it is a computer vision. So vision means we will look at the photo and we will determine, but in this case computer will look at the photo and will determine whether that photo contains a person or a dog or a cat or an animal or a land, right? So it is a computer vision problem, not a conversation AI, not a NLP. Determine whether a review is positive or negative. So whether a review is positive or negative, it is a natural language processing. Natural language processing is like whatever the language we used in day-to-day life, whether it is English, Hindi, Japanese, Spanish, French. So system will analyze that language and try to like find some output from that, like either whether it will try to find whether the customer review is positive or negative, rather than one person will sit and read all the reviews and then decide whether the customer is unhappy or happy. But a computer will automatically go through all the text and will decide whether the customer review is positive or not. So it is not a enumerated, it is not a computer vision, it is not a conversation, it is a NLP problem. When building an AI system, which of the following tasks needs to be included to ensure that the Microsoft transparency principle of responsible AI is followed? So as I told you that there are 6 responsible AI principle and one is the transparency. So as part of the transparency, as I told you, so one should know like why this model is performing better, right? And what this model is like doing at the back end, right? So it should be transparent. If we have built some model, it should be transparent. So they told that out of these 4 options, what is the meaning of transparency? Ensure that the visual have an associated text that can be read by the screen reader. So there is screen reader, it will read the text. So no, it is not a principle, it is just an application. Ensure automatic auto scaling of an application. No, it is not a principle. Provided documentation to help developers to debug code. So there should be transparency. Let's say there should be proper documentation how this model is performing. If we have to do something, we should basically know, right? So it should be, if we have the proper documentation, then we can easily debug the particular code. So so that it is come under the transparency. So everything is transparent. Ensure that the training data set is representative of the person. No, it is wrong. So transparency comes under if we have the proper documentation. Identify handwritten letter. So if we have some handwritten letter A, B, C, D, or 1, 2, 3, 4, we have to identify. So it comes under like computer vision, because we have to see and then we have to identify. But in this case, computer have to see and computer have to identify. Then it comes in the computer way. Note the regression, note the NLP, note the anomaly. Predict the sentiment of social media posts. So it is some kind of text. So whenever the text come, it come under the NLP, that is the natural language processing. Identify a fraud credit card transaction. So we have to identify the fraud credit card transaction. So generally we are doing some credit card transaction. So most of the transactions are okay, but if there is any fraud transaction came, then we could see some spike in some graph, right? So that come in the anomaly detection. So we have to identify anomaly. It's not a computer vision, it's not a regression, it is not an NLP. Predict next month toy sale. So it is basically a number, how much toy sale will be will be done in the next month, whether it is 50,000, 60,000. So it is type of regression problem. Your company is exploring the use of voice recognition technology in its smart home devices. Okay, so we are using some voice recognition technology in a smart home device. The company want to identify any barriers that might unintentionally leave out specific user group. So it come under which responsible AI? So as I told you that there are 6 responsible AI, like so and in the question they told that we have to identify any barrier if we have leave out some specific group. So as I told you that there is a one principle of the responsible AI, inclusiveness. Whenever we develop the AI model, so we need to make sure that it should cover everything, it should cover each and every group. So and in the question itself we have to identify whether whatever the model we have built, whether it is built for all the groups or it has leave some particular group. So it comes under the inclusiveness. It not come under the privacy, it not come under the fairness, it not come under the accountability. Accountability means if we have built the model, so whoever build the model, that person is accountable. Which of the following are the principle of the AI? So as I told you, there are 6 responsible AI. So knowledge decision is not the principle. Inclusiveness, it should include everything, it should not include a particular group. It should be the fairness and the reliability and the safety. So you have to build a machine learning model by using the automated machine learning user interface. You need to ensure that the model meets the Microsoft transparency principle. So now we need to do the transparency. Responsible AI principles are very important. Maybe you could see 1 or 2 questions in the exam. So we need to do that. What is mean by transparency? Transparency means everything should be transparent. There should be proper documentation. There should be if the AI model tell us why I am performing better, it will explain everything. So if you read the option, enable explain best model. So in AutoML, what it will do is it will test so many models. Let's suppose it will test 10 models and it will rank all the models. Okay, this is the best performance and this is the worst performance. So it should explain why this is the best and why it is worst. So it comes in the transparency. So which of the following methods can be used to the evaluate classification model? So in the classification model we use the true positive rate. So mean absolute error, R square and the root mean square error. All these 3 metrics used in the regression problem, not in the classification. Which of the following are the 2 components that can be used to drag a canvas in the Azure Machine Learning Designer? So we have the Azure Machine Learning Designer. So as part of the designer we have so many options on the left hand side, and to create a machine learning model, we just drag and drop those option and create a some pipeline and create a model and deploy a model. So what all the option we can deploy, so we can what all the option we can drag and drop into the canvas means the place where we can drag and drop the options. So the data set we can drag, so compute is not the option to drag, compute is just the option where we want to run that particular, so it is not the option, it is just in the settings. So pipeline is not option, pipeline is just on the end-to-end flow, we call it as a pipeline. So module, so we drag and drop the data set as well, on which data set we want to develop the model, on which module. So there are so many modules, if we want to split the data set, there is some option called split data set. If we want to evaluate the metric, there is a one module called evaluation of metric. So there are many modules. So data set and the modules are two options, and we have to tell what are the two components. So predict how many minutes late a flight will be arrived. So it is basically a type of number, whether the flight will be 10 minutes late, 20 minutes late, 30 minutes. So it's coming under regression. So whenever there is a numeric data, it's coming under the regression. Segment customer into different groups. So you want to have to segment customers into different groups. So it comes under the clustering problem. Predict whether a student will complete a university course or not. So it is a type of binary classification, yes or no. So it is a classification problem. Examining the value of a confusion matrix. So if we have a confusion matrix, if we want to examine the value, so it comes under which step of the machine learning, whether it so it comes under the basically evaluation. So whenever the model is ready and we have to evaluate the model, then we will look at the confusion matrix, generally in case of the classification problems. It's not a training, it's not a deployment, it's not a feature selection, it's not an engineering, it's an evaluation. Splitting the date into month, day and year field. So basically if we are creating more features or more columns from one, it comes under the feature engineering. So picking temperature and pressure to train a weather model. So let's suppose we have the 10 feature, and to train our model we are just picking two, we are using two features. So that come under the feature selection. Feature selection means what all feature we are selecting to train our model. You need to predict the sea level in meter. So again it's number, what is the sea level, so it come under the regression. Automated machine learning is the process of automating time consuming. So automated, AutoML is basically why we use generally the AutoML. So if the person don't know any programming, if the person doesn't have any programming knowledge, so AutoML is very useful for that particular person. So as part of the AutoML, what it will do is, and also it will decrease some time and iterative process as well, because let's suppose if you are writing your own models, right, so generally you don't know which model will be perform best, right? So what you will do, first you will do one model, okay, then you find the accuracy, then you will test another model, then you find the accuracy, then you will test third model. So in this way, let's suppose you have test 8 to 10 models, and out of the 8 to test model, then you will compare, okay, which model is performing best on this set of data, and then you will decide. But what AutoML will do is, it will automatically test approximately 10 to 12 models, and it will automatically find the accuracy or any kind of evaluate the model, basically accuracy score or any kind of metrics. It will automatically calculate, and it automatically put in some decreasing order, okay, this is the best model, this is the worst model, in the decreasing order upon the accuracy. So everything will be done automatically. So AutoML is basically, so they told that is the AutoML is the process to automate time consuming iterative tasks. So yes. So AutoML machine learning can automatically infer the training data from the use of case provided. So no, it will not infer the training data. So AutoML machine learning works by running multiple training iterations. So yes, it will automatically and it will score and rank the metrics that you specify. Yes, definitely true. So automatically it will run multiple iterations on multiple models and will automatically rank the models based on the metrics. So that is true. Automatic machine learning enables you to specify a data set, and it will automatically understand which label to predict. So no, it will not, like if we give the data set, it will not automatically predict like what is our like output column. No, in the setting we have to mention what is our output column. So AutoML it is not just we just put the data and click a button. No, but we have to do some kind of setting. We have to tell like this is the label data. We have to tell so many other things as well. But we don't need to any kind of programming. We have to just select options from the option panel. So they told that whether the AutoML automatically predict the label column, like let's put with the 1000 columns, and whether it will automatically predict like what is the output column. No, it will not automatically predict, but we have to tell, okay, this is the output column and these are the features. Okay, so which of the following is the machine learning type used by a banking system to predict whether a loan will be repaid or not? So it is a classification problem, whether the customer will repay the loan or not. So it is a kind of a classification problem. Labeling, the process of tagging. Labeling is the process of tagging training data is with known values true. So if we have the training data and we label it, let's suppose we have the so many images of dogs and cats, and we label it, okay, this image is of dog, this image is of cat, this image is of dog, this image is cat, some known values, then the process is called as the labeling. So it is a true. So you should evaluate a model by using the same data used to train the model. No, we have to evaluate the model on the test data which is not seen by the training while training. So it is a false. Accuracy is always the primary metric used to measure the model performance. No, accuracy is not the primary metrics. In some cases accuracy could be the metrics, but in many cases like accuracy is not always the primary metric. So they told it is always. No, it is not the always. You use the Azure Machine Learning Designer. So Azure Machine Learning Designer is basically like again the same thing, like where we have the canvas, we drag and drop the options. To inference pipeline, which two parameters should you use to consume the pipeline? So they told that our model is ready. Now how we can use that model? So to use that model, we need the REST endpoint. So there is a particular REST endpoint, right? And we have to authenticate the particular REST endpoint. So there is a particular key. So only these two things required. We don't need the model name. We don't care about like what model is being used by, and we just need the endpoint. That's it. REST endpoint. We don't need the training endpoint. So training doesn't matter. We have the output ready. So we will use the output endpoint. That is the REST endpoint and the authentication key. You want to deploy a real-time inference pipeline as a service for others to consume. So where you will like deploy. So if we want to deploy some pipeline so that the others will consume, that the customer will consume, so where we will do, whether we will deploy in a local web service. No, if we deploy in the local system, then only we will use. How the other people will access our local system? So wrong. Azure container instance. So if we can like deploy in the Azure container instance, but it is not recommended because like it is not scalable. So Azure Kubernetes is generally like recommended because it is scalable, and automatically if the container is down, automatically it will make it up. So it is a real-time inference. So Azure Kubernetes is perfectly okay. Compute, no, it is wrong. Which of the following is the machine learning type that should be used to predict the number of overtime hours? So again we have to define the number of hours. How many hours right? So it is a kind of regression problem. Okay, so we have to define natural language. So be able to extract person, location and organization from the text. So if we have the text, right, so let's suppose this is the text, so we have to like identify extract some like words, and we have to identify whether it is a person, whether it is a location. Let's suppose if we have the text like the Taj Mahal is great, right? So we have to identify, okay, Taj Mahal is the name of the person or it is a location. So it is a like a kind of location, right? So it come under the entity recognition. So we are identify the entities from the text. So whether the particular word is a a person, whether the particular word is a location, whether it's a particular landmark, or whether it is a particular is a food, what is this? So it comes to the entity recognition. Be able to evaluate text along with the positive negative scale. If we have to like tell whether the particular text is a positive or negative, it comes to the sentiment analysis. Be able to return text translated to the specific target language. So if we have the text, let's suppose it's the English text, and we have to translate into the Hindi language, so it comes under the translation technique. So understand how upset a customer is based on the text contained in the supported. So again we have to do the some sentiment analysis, whether the customer is upset or not. So again the sentiment analysis. Summarize important information from this support ticket. So we have to summarize the information. Let's suppose we have one ticket and we want some key fields from that particular ticket, like a basic kind of a summary, right? When the ticket is raised, so give me the date field, give me the user who has raised the ticket, give me the resolution date, like when the ticket get resolved, so and what are the text. So we need the key phrase detection. So let's suppose you have the invoice, right? And in the invoice there are so many fields. Okay, what is the total bill amount, when like who has issued this bill. So if we like, there is a one technique, we could like go through all the bill, and there are so many unnecessary information which we don't want. So if we want to just summarize the thing, we want, okay, what is the total amount, how many tax, like is it 12% tax or 13%, what is the date, like who issued the bill. So a key phrases detection, it comes under the key phrases. So it will identify the particular keys. Extract key dates from the support ticket. So again, like there is a ticket and we want to identify what are the dates. So it come under the key phrase detection. In which of the following scenario would you use the speech recognition? So when we use the speech recognition, okay, so speech recognition means like let's suppose I am speaking and I want to like generate some captions. Then I have to recognize the speech and then I have to generate some captions. So we have to select two options. So one is the creating a transcript of a telephone call. Let's suppose I have a telephone call audio, and I have to generate some text. Then I will use the speech recognition technique. It will recognize the speech and it will generate some transcript. And the other option is providing closed captions. So on the YouTube video generally you could see like we have the captions. So the person is just recorded and how to generate the particular caption. So we can pass the particular audio or video from the speech recognition model and it will automatically generate the captions. So you are presenting at a conference, your session is being transcribed into subtitles. So if we are presenting, so that is we are speaking something and it will we are transcribed into subtitle. So it means the speech recognition is working. So we are speaking and it will automatically convert into subtext. So it is converted to speech recognition. You need to develop an application that will read instruction aloud to user who have the reduced vision. Okay, so it means let's suppose the person who is unable to see, so we have to like read the speech and convert into some kind of voice. So again it comes under the speech, because like it will read the text and it will now it convert into the audio. So it goes into the speech. So Azure bot service can import frequently asked question to a question and answer set. No. So there are two kind of service. One is the Azure bot service and one is the question and answer maker service. Azure bot service is just like of a conversation, like we are just a kind of simple conversation, and Q&A is like we have the frequently asked question, right? So like this is the question, this is the answer. So Azure bot service can import frequently asked question. No, it is a Q&A maker who like frequent import some kind of questions. You have to provide content to a business chatbot that would be used to help answer simple user queries. Okay, what are the 3 ways to create a question and answer maker by using a Q&A maker? Okay, so basically like we are building some kind of business chatbot, the question answer chatbot. Then they will tell how you will feed the question, how you will generate the question. So there are so many techniques. Either we will manually enter the question and answer, right? If we have the list of the question answer, just manually enter, okay, this is the question, this is the answer, this is the question, this is the answer, right? Or if we have some chit chat content available, right? So we have like chit chat means we have the chat with the customer. So customer asked this question and the person have answered this, customer asked this question, customer have answered this. So we have the chit chat content, then we can feed that. Or like so we have some web page and on the web page we have some question and answer, we can generate the question and answer from the existing web page. So these are the three techniques. You have to create a conversation support system based on the frequently asked question from PDF file. So again, like it is a conversation frequently asked question. So wherever frequently asked question come, it come under the Q&A maker. So Q&A maker basically a tool which is used to create question and answer, right? So we will just feed one PDF file which has some frequently asked question, and it will automatically create a question and answer course, maybe in some JSON format or any other format, depend upon how the system needs. You need to reduce the load on a telephone operators by implementing a chatbot answer simple question. So you know, like whenever we call customer care, so there are some question and answer like which automatically some voice recorded service like automatically like tell us, right? No, it's a kind of chatbot. No, not a voice recorder, but it is a kind of chatbot. So if it is a chatbot, which service we use? So we will use the Azure bot service. Q&A maker is to Q&A maker service is to make the question and answer. So let's suppose we have the PDF, we have the chit chat, so we can make a question and answer from that. It will basically analyze the text and answer, it will make a question and answer. But if we have to do some kind of a chatbot system, then we will use the Azure bot service. Which of the following are the two examples of the conversational AI workload? Okay, conversational AI is some kind of chatbot. So like where like we generally use, so a smart device in the home that responds to the question what will be the, yeah, definitely, like we have the generally a smart device into the home and we will ask like Alexa what is the weather today, then it will tell the weather. So it is basically a conversational AI, right? A website that acknowledge the user interactivity, respond to the user question. Yeah, on the website we have the chatbot like that also respond to the question, that is perfectly okay. Assembly line machinery into the autonomous insert, no, it is not a chatbot. Monitoring the temperature, no, it is not a chatbot. You can communicate with the bot with the use of email, yes, definitely. By using the Office 365 account, we can communicate with the bot. You can communicate with the bot using the Microsoft Teams, yes, true. You can communicate with the bot using a web chat interface, yes, because on the website generally we have the bot here, right? So we can do that, yeah, true. So we have to, like we have given some chart, so we have to define like what type of model it. So it is a kind of a like at this stage we have this value, at this stage we have this value, at this stage we have, so it is a kind of number, so it comes under regression. So natural language processing is used to process some following text. So this is some text and the output is this. So it told that out of this text, student is a person, teacher is a person, distance learning is a skill, today is a date, remote learning is a skill, Microsoft is a organization, 1000 is a quantity. So it is basically doing the entity recognition, right? So we have to do that, like what it is doing, it is a kind of entity recognition, right? Yeah, so we have done all the 55 question. Yeah, so all the like questions are correct. So yeah, that's it.